I'm going to tell you a story, but the first thing you have to understand is time doesn't work the way you think it does. And sometimes not the way I think it does either. You can call me Oracle, because I'm the one who's talking to you. Welcome to the cult. So, around the end of 2021, I was working on Bug Out. I'm getting back to it pretty soon, I think. But, my life started taking a distinct turn for the, dark, scary, and strange. That I more or less, kind of just had to not talk about. But it involved a very, very, and you can choose not to believe me if you want. You can't. That is absolutely your choice. But it involved a book that it's not even after Bug Out. I had planned on writing Bug Out and then Grail to the Thief, and then a book called Killing Mommy Dearest. Now, it turns out Killing Mommy Dearest was apparently about a literal actual Asura Papman, like a literal actual Titan Devil. And you might think that the reason things started getting scary for me is because I had a bad conflict with it. Here's the thing. Apparently this Asura Papman is also you've heard me say I'm not fond of a particular word in Sanskrit, Devadabada, molestation of the gods. Well, apparently that's part of her name. Her name is apparently Ambi Devadabada. Now, you might be thinking, how is this not bad for you? Well, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure, I'm 98% sure that, the Preda Little Dims is the Jiva Sutriyatman, or the human, soul thread, that was, the source of Ambidavadabada. And, as a result of it being a Preda, it has some, unique skills to, mess with people who are just, living Jiva, living humans. And it manifestly did not. So I basically made a deal with this incredibly powerful demon, or Papman, to essentially eat her name. And part of that is me, writing the book, Killing Mommy Dearest, which is essentially, I didn't really know it, but essentially, part of a culpa to basically let her die, because she doesn't want to be around anymore. The Mommy Dearest of the molestation of the gods doesn't want to be around anymore. And so when it showed up to me and started talking to me back in 2021, and the little Dims DS Dip S Preda got it into its head that it was going to be able to replace her after I ate her name. But kind of the whole point of that is so no one can replace her. Which I think is partially why Little Dims has been such a pain in my keister. I'm not even joking. But on the topic of me eating her name, because it's kind of a complex on beat, helping her go to rest, giving her a for the sake of she's a Savan Sangita, she's a living song, giving her a lullaby so she can go to sleep. Because dreams of a certain level of power you can't just kill, because first of all it doesn't work, and second of all it's power that exists in the universe that just doesn't go away. Energy changes form. It doesn't go away. It isn't destroyed. Destruction is just a way energy changes forms. So I'm kind of getting off topic, but on the topic of consuming her name, this is not something you should do to another person at all. It just isn't. Because eating someone's name isn't okay. It is not. Like, you can eat your own name. That's actually really good for you. But eating someone else's name, not cool. There might be some like etiquette where you can like get married to someone and each of you like eat a part of the other one's name to be like to like do a Bandhu Mitra. I mean a Bandhu Bhavati, but like that's me speculating. So back to the original point of this. So I'm just like chilling in my room, trying to have a good time, and this massively powerful like Asura Papman just basically shows up. More or less because like this little DS Preta came banging at my door, figuratively and literally, screaming about how it was the real one, and I was like, no, 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 I refuse. So I basically like called out to her. I was like, "Oh, dearest, I feel like I know who you are." And someone is literally slandering you. Like, literally trying to look like they're you to make a deal to break it. And like, maybe it's just the way I am. The core notion of that offended me so bad that like having a vague idea of who Mommy Dearest was, like not knowing she was Ambi Devadaba, but knowing like generally speaking who she was, I was like, I don't want to call on her, but I ain't letting this slide. I ain't letting this slide. I'm not letting some little DS Preta that's like a dead Jiva pose as an Asura Papman to break a deal. That ain't cool. So, that's 2021. This little DS Preta, near as I can tell, like, harassed me out of my job at Circle K. And, like, messed with me when I was trying to, like, file for unemployment. Basically, entirely, I think, literally trying to keep me from consuming Mommy Dearest's name. Now, I can be wrong. I can be wrong all day. Like I said, you don't have to believe me. But, topic of a upcoming book, important note. Important note 2. What does a deal involving eating the name of an Asura Papman entail? Well, that depends on how well you're trying to do it. In this case, it involves multiple layers of consumption. I've consumed your name on salt. And without an energy shot, but a partial cherry fizz bang. So I've eaten it, I've drunk it, I've smoked it with both tobacco and not. And oh yes, I took a receipt and I put Zala or spit. I basically like signed it on 4 sides to consume my name in 4 different ways. One with like just initials, one with my full name, one with one side that had like Jeffrey Savage and one had Deja Dix on it. And I had blood on one corner, sweat on another, spit on another, and Usajala on another to basically like lock in the consumption of it. And I also did an X in the dove's blood in the center. Basically, and on it, on the receipt on that, I wrote, you know, as per our agreement, as per our contract, I'm doing this. Because, like, important part of that is reckoning, like, what you're doing specifically, why. I'm not doing this just to, like, try to gain power over her. I'm doing this because we have a deal. I am not a stupid man in the way of making a deal with an Asura Papman and then trying to screw the deal. When I say don't screw the deal, that's exactly the kind of deal that you don't screw with. a deal you make yourself, a deal you choose to go into, and a deal that if someone else tries to screw it over, you don't let them. So that's oh yeah, I also burned Parnanara for her. I use that like long complex imaging mantra to like get a really good image of it. She's purple. Mommy Days is purple. I think she goes in between lavender and like deep ultraviolet. She also has like orange eyes, and she has horns with no hair most of the time, but when she feels like having her hair, apparently she has hair that's like... This is one of the cool things about being an Asura Papman. You can basically, like, as long as you stick to your theme, you can look like what you want. And her hair, apparently, when she has it, you know, when she isn't rocking, like, the horns and the not shaved, but still completely, like, not bald. Because, like, it's not like it can't have hair. It just doesn't. So, like, the clean, shaven look with horns. Um, oh, yeah, her hair. So, apparently, it's, like, literally molten gold. That's pretty baller, I gotta say. So, FYI, Mommy Dearest actually really scary, but also actually really not. Because that's the thing, like, that's the thing about, in my opinion at least. So, like, I think I maybe mentioned that, I sang a lullaby for, Edward, you know, because that's a dream that needed some sleep. In a very similar way, like, I'm doing the same thing for her that I'm doing for the Nina and Alexander together. Something that's like old and powerful that like was more or less forced to be evil and didn't like it at all. There's like more than like honor to it. Like they deserve rest. So that's my opinion. Once again, you don't have to believe me, but this is Oracle. I'm gonna sing myself out. This is Oracle. I'm gonna sing myself out. Dream safely out there in the weed fell throughout. And if some dream needs a lullaby, don't be a mean one and say, no way from my. 'Cause that ain't the way to neighborly be. Be safely out there, all you and the we.